morning. Another bill that is expected to be discussed in the Senate this afternoon is the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2024 by the Senator Kathuri Murungi MP, which will be in the second reading and will be a resumption of debate that was interrupted on Tuesday, 5th May 2026, and a division is expected at the end. As the senators make their way into the chamber, quite a number of questions and statements are expected to be presented at the Senate this afternoon. Some requests for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Senator for Trans-Nzoia County, Senator Ali Chesang MP, will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee of Finance and Budget regarding budgeting and accounting malpractices in Trans-Nzoia County. The Senator for Kakamega County, Senator Dr. Boni Halwale MP, is to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the sale of Golf Hotel in Kakamega County. Also, the Senator for Tana River County, Senator Dr. Danson Mungatana MP, will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the status of the Village Cluster Relocation Program in Tana River County. Remember, the quorum of the Senate is 15 members, and we are still waiting for members to find their way into the Senate chamber. As you can see on your screens, senators are making their way into the chamber for this afternoon sitting. The Senator for Taita Taveta County, Senator Jones Mwaruma, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding non-revenue water billing by the Coast Water Works Development Agency in Taita Taveta County. As part of the questions and statements, pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, nominated Senator Hamida Kibwana to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the closure of secondary schools and the rising cases of students' unrest in learning across the country. Also, the nominated Senator Hamida Kibwana will also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transports and Housing regarding the tragic death of Eugene Mutuko, who lost his life after allegedly being thrown out from a moving public service vehicle along Thika Road. Nominated Senator Consolata Wakwabubi to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding delayed payments to the Kenyan National Examination Council (NEC) contracted officials, including examiners, invigilators, supervisors, and support staff engaged in the administration of national examination. The Senator for Busia County, Senator Andrew Omutata, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the effectiveness of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in addressing recurrent audit queries, budgetary irregularities, and systematic corruption in the national and county government levels. Members are still making their way into the chamber for the afternoon sitting. For the afternoon sitting that commenced, but there was a lack of quorum, so we are waiting for 15 members to quorate the chamber so that the sitting can start. Another question will be by the Senator for Busia County to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare regarding the persistent internal governance wrangles at Cricket Kenya.
Just call the next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Senator for Garissa County, kindly take your seat. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 236 2B, I hereby report a petition by Mr. Dixon Githaige Mushemi seeking for reintroduction of the Landlord and Tenant Bill. As you're aware, under Article 119(1) of the Constitution, and I quote, every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. The salient issues raised in the petition are as follows. 1, that the petitioner is a citizen of Kenya, residing in Makadara, Nairobi County. That the petitioner seeks for the reintroduction of the Landlord and Tenants Bill 2021 to consolidate the laws relating to renting a residential and business premises, and to achieve the following: regulation of the landlord-tenant relationship in order to promote stability within the rental sector, establishment of tribunals to adjudicate disputes arising between landlords and tenants, repeal of the following statutes: 1, the Distress for Rent Act, Cap 293, the Rent Restrictions Act, Cap 296, and the Landlord and Tenant Shops, Hotels and Catering Establishments, Act Cap 301. There are similar bill was introduced in the Senate in the 12th Parliament, but lapsed at the end of the term. That the proposed law should include a legal framework aimed at balancing the interests of landlords and tenants within a free market economy by ensuring landlords obtain reasonable income from rental investments and protecting tenants from unfair practices. Consequently, the petitioner prays that the Senate reintroduces, considers, and passes the Landlord and Tenant Bill. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 238(1), I commit the petition to the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing for consideration. In terms of Standing Order 238(2)A, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to table its report in the Senate for consideration. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, Chairperson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 10th of June, 2026. Number 1, Honorable Speaker, I want to read the report on the Traffic School Transport Rules 2026, notice number 11 of 2026. The Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2026, notice number 13 of 2026. And the National Transport and Safety Authority, Operation of Commercial Vehicles, Regulation number 2026, notice number 14 of 2026. Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is Chairperson Committee on Delegated Legislation. Thank you. I lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Select Committee on Delegated
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to give a notice of the following motion. Consideration of a report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Traffic and School Transport Rules 2026, notice number 11 of 2026. The Traffic and Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2026, legal notice number 13 of 2026, and the National Transport and the Safety Authority Operation of Commercial Vehicles, Regulation 2026, notice number 14 of 2026. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Honorable Speaker, I have the incompetence some observations. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following of the motion that the Senate adopt the report of the Select Committee on the legislation on its consideration of the following: the Traffic School Transport Rules 2026, Ordinance number 11, 2026, the Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2025, 2026, Ordinance number 13 of 2026, the National Transport and Safety Authority Operation of Commercial Vehicles Regulation 2026, Ordinance number 14 of 2026. Read on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 10th of June, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instrument, the Senate resolves to annul the Traffic School Transport and Legal Notice number 13 and the Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules number 20, Legal Notice number 13 2026, and the National Transport and Safety Authority Operation of Commercial Vehicles Regulation 2026, Legal Notice number 14 of 2026. 2026. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I give notice of motion. Thank you.
To Standing Order 45-2, Chairperson, Delegated Legislation. Are you not done with your notices?
I am done, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Then take your seat. Allow me, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, to rearrange today's order paper. We will move to prosecute order number 8 and 9, and thereafter resume the normal flow as contained in the order paper. Clerk, you may proceed to call order number 8.
Order number 8, the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2024. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday 3rd, 2026, for the mover to reply.
Senate Majority Leader, you may proceed to reply.
Mr. Speaker, I am grateful to the members that have spoken to this particular bill. Their contribution and insight will go a long way in informing the amendments that will come out of it. This was quite an interesting one. Mr. Speaker, I am fairly aware that we have a very important afternoon ahead of us. There are members who want to say one or two things about division of revenue before we can raise the requisite quorum so that we can conclude on that particular business. Therefore, I don't want to indulge any further on this topic, as I know members are eager to speak on the next item so that we can conclude in good time. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. Finally, Mr. Speaker, in compliance with Standing Order number 66.3, I want to request that the putting of a question be deferred until a later time today, if possible.
There is so ordered. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, consideration of the report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026, resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 10th June 2026, morning sitting.
Now, at the rise of the House in the morning, Senator Beatrice Ogola had the floor and had a balance of 17 minutes. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, just before we broke after the morning session, I was on the floor, as you've stated, and I stated, Honorable Speaker, that I support the report by the Mediation Committee, Honorable Speaker. In that report, Honorable Speaker, there were two key factors that were considered. One of them were the funding needs and the realities as they are. Honorable Speaker, I stated that counties, just like the national government, have funding needs. But Honorable Speaker, I was reflecting back on the functions that the counties have. And just like we've stated before, Honorable Speaker, the functions, Honorable Speaker, were never costed. And so that could probably be one of the reasons why counties are always having hardships in the provision of the services. Honorable Speaker, I stated that health is key, and but when we reflect at our county hospitals, the dispensaries, the health centers, Most of the times, Honorable Speaker, when we go back to the village, the health centers have no medicine. And Honorable Speaker, I was just referring to my sub-county hospital that was referred to as the district hospital then they were a sub-county hospital, that the last time I was home, the public seemed to be having a lot of difficulties because the necessities in that hospital is continuously lacking. Honorable Speaker, water is also devolved and it is a basic need. Agriculture, we have often talked about the lack of extension services to our farmers, and to be precise, most of our farmers in the county are always on their own. Honorable Speaker, I'm just building on to the fact that a number of us expected that we'd be able this financial year to run with 450 billion as had been anticipated. But we now accept the reality that the mediation committee has brought of the 428 billion. But Honorable Speaker, I want to mention key issues that keep on worrying some of us with the county governments. The issue of the pending bills, Honorable Speaker, remain a thorn in the flesh. Primarily, pending bills are supposed to be paid on an aged formula where people who worked earlier, when bills are paid, should be entitled to their monies. But that is not what happens, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have worked at the county government at the onset of devolution, and everybody saw the excitement that our communities had, and we actually saw that people who are doing business with the counties, on those initial years, Honorable Speaker, thrived, and we saw people move from being small traders to big time doing tenders. And Honorable Speaker, that was the expectations that Kenyans all over the Republic had. But today, Honorable Speaker, our businesses are struggling in the counties. And when you talk to the contractors, you hardly get a county where contractors are happy. And so it is important to remind the counties, Honorable Speaker, that when you sign for a contract, if you look at the back, the notes on the LPOs, Honorable Speaker, there are always notes that reflect that you only award a tender when you have money to pay for it. So it is amazing that when these business people have done this work, some of them, the tenders are completed and the sites are handed over and the sites are in use, Honorable Speaker. But somebody who did that work lies collapsing, their family obligations are stuck because the counties owe them money. Honorable Speaker, the counties need to consider their people and have them in mind that when they do some of those work as assigned, they must be paid in time. Honorable Speaker, there is also the nagging question of the own source revenue. Honorable Speaker, as these counties build onto their own source revenue, and a number of them, we see them celebrating the growth of their own source revenue. But little do you see an equivalent growth in terms of the services in this country that is commensurate to the own source revenue that is celebrated. Honorable Speaker, I also want to make a comment on the wage bill in our county governments. A number of them, Honorable Speaker, is overshooting the percentage that is required. And that reflects on the development component in the counties, Honorable Speaker. We call upon the county government to initiate prudent management of their wage bill. And Honorable Speaker, it is also important to say that in a number of those counties, even though they advertise for jobs and they employ a number of people, the counties do not invest in employing technical staff that would support the sectors that they have. This is also important that the counties take note of that. But Honorable Speaker, as I wind my presentation, there are key measures that counties must also take into consideration. The issue of wastage, that is not only limited to the county governments, it is replicated in all the government sectors, be they in the national government. Honorable Speaker, the main reason that we cannot have so much money to be invested in the development is because of wastage. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, we must also talk about delays in disbursement. Counties must get their monies in time so that they are able to perform their duties. And the very last, Honorable Speaker, we must address also the issue of oversight in the counties. That we call upon the MCAs that they must know they are doing the primary oversight. And we do not expect the MCAs to be departments of the executive in the county governments, Honorable Speaker. Most of the time we see the MCAs behaving as if they are part and parcel in terms of doing the executive roles. We call upon MCAs that they must relook their mandate, that they must do their primary oversight, and until they do that, then they will not be supporting our people. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Yeah, Majority Leader, before I allow you your intervention, allow me to make this communication. Honorable Senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 6 teachers and 114 students from Tumutumu Girls School in Nyeri County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 3 teachers and 44 students from Kanjokoma St. Andrew School in Embu County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon Senator Mundigi to extend a word of welcome to those 2 delegations.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kukaribisha shule moja ya Nyeri ya Tumutumu na shule moja ya Embu Kenjokoma. Siku ya leo ni kukaribisha nyinyi hapa katika Senate, muone yale tunatenda hapa, kazi ile tunafanya sisi hapa tukiwa ma senators ni mambo ya devolution, vile pesa zinafaa siende masinani ndio county zetu siweze kukaa vizuri, na hakuna pesa yoyote governor anaweza kutumia kama asinjatoka hapa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni ile mambo tunafanya hapa. Hiyo ingine tunafanya mambo ya devolution, mambo ya health, mambo ya parapara na mambo ya maji, na pia kuangalia vile kazi ya national government inafanya kazi. Kama siku ya leo mmesikia kama ile senator akiongea ni vile tunapitisha pesa 428 billion ambaye sitaenda kufanya kazi masinani. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, naunga mkono nikikaribisha hawa mkirudi nyumbani. Yangu ni kumuomba, tumesikia mambo mengi manyumbani, tungeomba hata kama mmekosewa na walimu ama wazazi, muende mnaona vile tuko hapa, sisi tulipitia kwa shule na tukua na shinda, ningeomba mjiepushe na dawa ya kulevya na pangi, ndio muweze kukaa na maisha ambayo ni mazuri, kwa sababu ni nyinyi mtakuwa maseneta, ni nyinyi mtakuwa speaker kama ule yako pale, na pia vitisire zingine, kwa sababu wakati inakuja sisi tuondoke na tuachia nyinyi. Kwa hivyo ni nyinyi viongozi wa kesho. Asante Bwana Speaker. Pia Bwana Speaker, ningeomba unikubalie niendelee kuchangia mambo ya ndora vile pesa inafaa iende mashinani.
Senator Mundigi, kaa kidogo, nitakupatia nafasi baadaye. The Senate Majority Leader, what's your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. I beg your indulgence, and particularly that of the House, my colleagues in the House this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, we have before us a very popular bill, the Division of Revenue, a bill which ideally most of the time from experience, because of the kind of interest that it generates, we normally limit debate, sometimes 5, sometimes 10 minutes, depending on the time that is available. This morning, when this bill was moved, I stepped out, and apologies for that particular part. And therefore, we proceeded in the normal way that we consider a particular bill. And now every member has 20 minutes to speak to it. If we continue in that trajectory, knowing this House fully well, Mr. Speaker, mostly Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the days where we can marshal enough numbers to pass a bill of this magnitude. If we rely on Thursday, Mr. Speaker, I don't recall the last time we raised the requisite number. Given, Mr. Speaker, that this is a mediated version of a bill which we had spoken to already, I really want to plead that by way of consensus, to plead with the House that we have a gentleman's agreement across the aisle, that we limit ourselves to 5 minutes per member. I see it's now 3 o'clock, so that maybe about 10, 15 or so members that may want to speak to it can do so. And on or about 4 o'clock, 4:30 latest, we can do the needful, Mr. Speaker. And particularly knowing also that just beyond the Division of Revenue, we also have the additional allocations bill, another bill also that is time-bound, finance-related, that we need to begin moving today and perhaps process. I'm not too optimistic to think we can conclude on that today, Mr. Speaker, but at least on Division of Revenue, I want to plead with my colleagues in the House, if we could limit ourselves to 5 minutes by way of gentleman's agreement, now that there is no standing order that permits me to do this, Mr. Speaker, then we could make quick progress and conclude on it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, Senate Majority Leader. The only standing order that is there is the one that is preventing you from doing what you've just done. And therefore, honorable senators, this can only be done through concurrence across the House. If you are in agreement that from now going forward in this debate, if you get an opportunity to speak, you do so, I don't know, Majority Leader, you do so for not more than 5 minutes. If I have your concurrence on this, then we can adopt that mode of operation. Good. Senator Mundigi, you may proceed. Uko na dakika 5.
Hema niende pale basi. Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia mambo ya ndora ambazo ni ile pesa itaenda katika mashinani kwa kaunti zetu, kaunti 47. Bwana Spika, mimi ninasema nikiwa senator wa Embu County ni asante sana kwa wale watu walienda mediation wakiwa wametoka hapa katika Senate, na niwashukuru sana kwa sababu hii si mara ya kwanza kutoka mwaka wa 2022 na tumeona mafanikio, kwa sababu Bwana Spika, hii ni mwaka wa 3 na tumeona watu kitafuta mediation tunapata pesa ile inafaa, hata kama haitoshi tunasema ni asante. Bwana Spika, naunga mkono kwa watu kwa sababu wamekubali kukubaliana shilingi bilioni 426 billion ambazo zitaenda kwa zile county. Bwana Spika, nasema katika mashinani county zetu siko na sinda kwa sababu mambo ya afya. Mambo ya afya, hospitali yetu haina dawa, hospitali zingine zinjamalizika, mambo mengi imekuwa na shinda, na kumekuwa na shinda ya hizo pesa, unakuta magavana hawafanyi kazi kulingana vile inafaa. Bwana Spika, mambo ya elimu ya sindi hii unakuta walimu ni wachache, na wanafunzi ni wengi, pia hii pesa itaweza kusaidia ndio tuweze kupata walimu wa kutosha. Bwana Spika, kama kuna watu wanateseka katika mashinani na wale watu wengine wafanyikazi wote, mambo ya ajabu wakati wa devolution na wakati huu kutoka mwaka wa 2022 kumekuwa na shinda wale wafanyikazi kwa sababu ya pesa ya housing, kwa sababu ya pesa ya SHA na pesa zile zingine. Payslip imekuwa iko na shinda kwa sababu haina pesa. Bwana Spika, hata kama mfanyikazi anapata pesa kidogo, Bwana Spika, unakuta saa nyingine pesa inaselewa na unaona ule mfanyikazi tukienda masinani ndiye anaangaliwa mambo ya harambee, ya kanisa, ya shule, ya ugonjwa na pia hata mambo ya ndoa. Unakuta wale wafanyikazi katika kaunti zetu wako na shinda. Bwana Spika, ndio tumekuwa tukiweka kipaumbele tuone vile kaunti zetu itaweza kupata pesa na pia wafanyikazi wale. Pia Bwana Spika, pia imekuwa na shinda. Unakuta hata kuongezewa mishahara hawapati chochote. Unakuta ikifika mwisho wa mwezi inakuta ni shinda. Hata ikifika wakati wa retirement, Bwana Spika, unakuta mtu alipata kazi kwa miaka 60 lakini anaenda nyumbani bila kitu. Kwa hivyo naomba Bwana Spika, naomba magavana wakati watapata zile pesa waanze kuangalia Bwana Spika mambo ya afya, mambo ya employment na mambo ya kuongezea wale pesa ndio waweze kuwa na kitu watapeleka nyumbani. Bwana Spika, pia mambo ya agriculture, kilimo imekuwa na shinda. Tunaomba hizi pesa mkipata magavana itaweza kuwasaidia mambo ya extension agricultural officers, wataajiriwa wengi, ndio kilimo yetu ya manjani, ya kahawa, ya sukari, ya mirashi kumuguka, watu waweze kufunzwa kilimo ya kisasa ndio waweze kukaa na njia ile inafaa. Bwana Spika, hii pesa itasaidia njia nyingi. Mambo ya afya itasaidia, ukute kaunti zingine zile asina deni nyingi, wanaweza kujaribu kila ward itakuwa inapata kama ambulance ya kupeleka watu hospitalini, kama ni hospitali Nairobi ama kuna zile zingine. Bwana Spika, mambo ya agriculture pia nikirundia pale itaweza kusaidia vijijini waweze kupata maji kidogo ya mboho na tanki ndogo, tuweze kuona kama watajifunza. Bwana Spika, mambo ya kilimo ya blue economy ndio waweze kujifunza mambo ya samaki, kwa sababu siku hizi mambo ya chakula, mambo ya ugali iko sawa, lakini mambo ya nyama iko juu. Lakini wakilima kilimo ya samaki itaendelea kuwa kila kijiji itakuwa na samaki, na utakuta watoto wetu watakaa vizuri kwa mili yetu na magonjwa itaweza kuwa inarudi chini. Bwana Spika, pia naunga mkono, utakuta kama kaunti nyingi mambo ya pending bill na wengi bill imesumbua kaunti. Unakuta saa nyingine magavana wanapigwa vita kwa sababu walipata pesa lakini hawajalipa ile pending bill. Ningeomba hizi pesa ikienda masinani, magavana muweze kuangalia njia ile inafaa ndio muweze kumaliza pending bill na wengi bill, kwa sababu Bwana Spika, mambo ya pending bill, watu wengi contractors wameteseka, wengine waliporwa mali, wengine walishotwa mali. Unakuta contractors wanateseka, kaunti nyingi iko na pending bill. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, nikiwa Central Embu County naunga mkono hii pesa bilioni 426 billion, lakini naomba magavana muweze kuitumia njia ile nafaa. Pia napinga parliament wanajipatia pesa nyingi, lakini tumeona wakipinga sisi tuweze kuangalia mambo ya pesa inafanya kazi. Bwana Spika, nikimalizia, ningeomba primary oversight wakati pesa inaenda masinani, MCAs wote mrundi masinani, kwa sababu ni nyinyi mfanya public participation, ile pesa ionekane inafanya kazi na njia gani. Mimi nikiwa Senator Embu County, Daktari Alexander Munyi Mondigi, naunga mkono. Asante Bwana Spika. Asante.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to support this bill reluctantly because, Honorable Speaker, I remember last year we allocated 415 billion to the counties, an increase of about 20 billion. But this time, our team that we sent to National Assembly negotiated, and then we have settled at 428 billion, an increase of 13 billion from last year's allocation, Honorable Speaker, which is not bad considering the economic condition of the country. This is an improvement because Treasury had proposed to allocate 420 billion, but at least our colleagues have managed to add an increment of 8 billion. Honorable Speaker, this is very important to note also that the members have negotiated and they have put at least a clause that will protect and ensure the 428 billion will not be reduced even if KRA does not meet its target, because they have put a clause to say if there is any deficit in revenue collection, the national government is going to meet the shortfall, and if there is any surplus, then it will be taken to pay our national debt, which is also an important function. That is what is helping the country to move ahead with the infrastructure projects, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we want to urge our colleagues in the other house, the National Assembly, Honorable Speaker, already this House Port Public Accounts Committee and Public Investments Committee have approved reports, audited reports up to 2024-2025 as directed by the High Court, Honorable Speaker. But if you go to National Assembly, they have not followed the ruling. I think we are passing this particular allocation on 2023-24, 22-23, which is at a lack of about three years. We are 3 years behind. If they were up to date, Honorable Speaker, our counties would have gotten their 454 billion or even 470 billion that we were looking for, so that some small counties, the 12 so small counties that are still getting below 6 billion or 6.5 billion, Honorable Speaker, would have gotten some sizable resources that will go a long way to ensure that our governors, the executives of the county can do some meaningful developments for our counties, for our people in the counties, Honorable Speaker. Because if you go to a county like Elgeyo Marakwet County, we still get less than 1.5 billion to do development, which some counties are using about 4 or 5 billion to buy borage for PPP1 and PPP2 students, Honorable Speaker. So it is unfortunate that some counties will still lag behind because of the resources that we are giving them. Honorable Speaker, we also want to ask our MCAs to be serious with the oversight, because Senate is not the primary oversight. We pick reports from the Auditor Generals, but for them, they need to oversight the executives, go around the counties, go around to the wards and check the projects, because we have gone to several counties on oversight, and you'll realize most of the hospitals, they are built, they are not equipped, some don't even have medicine, and this is the primary job that they need to do. That's why I think there was a conversation that if counties are unable to basically manage health care, then maybe we need to do a commission. We can have a commission where the health workers can come back to national government, just like the Teacher Service Commission are managing teachers. Maybe we need a commission to manage the health workers so that they don't have to go on strike, because every county, every year, the nurses, the clinical officers, the doctors are on strike because they have the relationship between the executive of the counties and the workers are not very good. Unfortunately, like Elgeyo Marakwet County, for the last 5 months, the CHBs have not been paid 2,500 for the portion of the county government, but the portion by national government has been paid. What is so difficult for the governors to allocate resources so that the CHPs can help to ensure primary health care is promoted so that we have fewer people going to the hospital. This is something that they need to undertake and be serious. Our ECD teachers across the country, I was very surprised that there is one of the counties, ECT teachers are being paid 8,000. I mean, what do you expect somebody to do?
Senator Margaret Kamar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity for me to also support the Division of Revenue Bill agreement that was reached by the Mediation Committee. Although, as most members have said, we do it reluctantly because the speed with which the money is being raised for counties is still very slow. It is slow because, Mr. Speaker, we have devolved functions in Schedule 4. And devolved functions, having been identified, should have been costed so that they are funded accordingly. But it looks like we will continue to increase progressively, but not identifying the actual functions, which may not actually help us fulfill the agenda for which devolution was meant to do. I would therefore like to urge that even going forward, we need to have the costing of the devolved functions, proper costing. And I will mention one, Mr. Speaker. The vocational training centers which are devolved used to receive a conditional grant. In the Education Committee, we have realized that with that conditional grant having been withdrawn, the counties are not able to develop and expand. And yet we know the majority of our youth do not go to universities or TTIs or diploma awarding places, and we need them to be trained so that we don't have a huge population of young people who don't have any skill. It is therefore very important that some of these areas are not ignored. They should be costed, and the budget should consider that. And that influence should go back to the budget-making process, which our brothers and sisters in the National Assembly should be very sensitive to. Mr. Speaker, it's also important to know, for us to take note of the fact that Kenya as a nation has also signed declarations, either in the AU or internationally. And there are two very important ones which touch on the devolved sector. The Abuja Declaration by our heads of state in the year 2001, which required that 15% of the annual budget, not of the audited accounts, but of the annual budget, should be dedicated to health. Health is a devolved function. How can we see in the budget that 15%? We know that the coverage, which was also discussed under the same agreement, the coverage in Kenya has been expanded because of SHA. But where is the costing to show us that actually we have attained the 15%? It's very important, because if we don't have a health nation, then we do not really have a people that can grow into what we want them to be. The other agreement is the agriculture agreement, that declaration that was done by the heads of states in the year 2003, the Maputo Declaration as they call it, for food security and agriculture. Again, unless we cost that 10%, we need to ask ourselves, is 10% of our budget really going to, is it covering agriculture? Because the agreement that was signed by our heads of state, including our own president, was that 10% of the budget, not of the audited accounts, of the budget, was supposed to be dedicated to agriculture to ensure that we have food security. Costing, Mr. Speaker, of the devolved functions must inform the way we share the revenue of this country. Mr. Speaker, I mentioned earlier about the conditional grants. There is another fund that we need to inform our governors to watch. When our governors decide to go for intergovernmental agreements, without even consulting the Senate, and they want to have an agreement so that they pay bursaries, you ask yourself, where are they getting the money for the bursaries? As a Committee of Education, again, we sat down and we analyzed this. We got the Comptroller of Budget, and we wanted to understand the interpretation, so we got legal.
Your time is up, Honorable Senator. As you contribute, keep an eye on the time. It's it's actually reflected on your. I'll give you 1 minute, Honorable Senator.
because it's a very important conclusion that our governors want to negotiate an intergovernmental agreement to give out bursaries. And when you look at, analyze it against the other education agendas that we have which are devolved, they are paying bursaries, which is not their agenda, and leaving out PP1, PP2 infrastructure, leaving out VTCs. It is very important because when we asked for legal interpretation, it looked like the governors are now returning conditional grants to the national government, which is something they really must think very seriously before they sign any agreement. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and I support.
Senator Roba. Senator Ali Roba.
Mr. Speaker, I was hoping to get some notice, but Mr. Speaker, I know the Vice Chair moved this bill and the mediation report, but I just felt I needed to weigh in a little bit. In the morning, I was here when the discussion took place. This mediation was one of the most difficult mediation we've, and I've attended the mediation committee for the last 4 years. This is the 4th mediation that I've attended. Mr. Speaker, in all sincerity, it's a very awkward, position that the senators hold. Mr. Speaker, somebody is saying point of order. Can I continue?
Just proceed. It's up to me to hear or not hear.
Thank you.
Just proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, it has been, the most difficult mediation process we've undergone. And I know...
What is the point of order, Senator Haji?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And I apologize for interrupting party leader, former governor, and chair of budget committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would have wanted to request that the chairperson to speak last, because we have a lot of issues we want to raise from the mediation report, and then he can address some of them.
Senator Haji, the mover of the motion will reply, and it's not Senator Ali Roba. You may proceed, Senator.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I'm not the mover of the motion. My Vice Chair moved the motion, and she will reply. I'm here just to contribute as a member of this Senate. Honorable Speaker, we have been fighting for devolution, and unfortunately sometimes it appears as if the counties exist outside the boundaries of the nation, Kenya. And when we talk about devolution, and we talk about issues that are non-discretionary, issues that are beyond the county governments, issues to do with, for example, 2 SRC circulars that are mandatory for implementation of county government. And it's the same on national government, but the national government has made provisions to take care of those circulars for the national government staff. The same provisions has not been done for county governments, and that the implementation of the 2 circulars amounts to 10.05 billion. Honorable Senators and Mr. Speaker, the natural wage drift, Honorable Speaker, you are the governor for 10 years of Kilifi County. The IPPD system does not consult with you, just like in the Senate here. The salaries we started with in August 2022 is not the same salary we are earning now, and we've not negotiated for any salary adjustment. There is an automatic wage drift adjustment within the IPPD system that when the time is up, automatically the system sets. That amounts to almost over 5 billion Kenya shillings for the county government staff. Honorable Speaker, we have addressed some of the issues of counterpart funding, and which I bill it to governors. Because when you know you can't afford, and every year we are fighting for pennies adjustment to county government, you still go ahead and accept to do counterpart funding, which is co-funding of a function, imposed on you, but because it's a feel-good opportunity. And then when it comes to division of revenue, you will come and complain. We have CHPs that we have 50% co-funding, and you've accepted voluntarily 3.25 billion. Honorable Speaker, we have this issue of KIPES. The county is already complaining we cannot afford to do this, yet they go ahead and sign. And then when after signing, Honorable Speaker, and then now when it comes to division of revenue, it becomes a factor. It's 11.25 billion that we need to provide for. And on the other hand, we sit before the National Assembly and we beg, literally. It's a very awkward position for me. I mean, I chaired, and you sit there, you plead. You know, like your life depended on it, and I don't believe there's a lot of appreciation out there. But I don't know what we have to do in this Senate in order to guarantee there is realistic funding of devolution, or there should be a different discussion in the country for devolution to work. I've kept on asking myself if inflation pegged at 5% will give more impact than the 13 billion we've increased for county governments, because this is reality and it's happening within the county government. Forget about the discussion between the Right Honorable Amolo Odinga Marehemu and our president, but the reality of devolution exists. It's here with us. Are we not supposed to discuss how devolution should function? And effectively...
Senator Maruma.
Asante, Mstahiki Spika, kwa fursa umenipa ili kuchangia ripoti ya uwiano ya mswada wa kugawa pesa kati ya serikali ya kitaifa na serikali za county ambao unaitwa Division of Revenue Bill. Mheshimiwa Spika, napenda kushukuru kamati ya fedha inayoongozwa na Senator Ali Roba kwa ile kazi walifanya nzuri kusukuma ili pesa ipate kuongezwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, ibara ya 96 ya katiba ya Kenya inasema kwamba bunge la seneti limeundwa ili kulinda ugatuzi. Na wakati mwingi Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiongea mambo ya kulinda ugatuzi, wananchi wetu hawaelewi ugatuzi unalindwa kutokana na nani. Nafikiri Mheshimiwa Spika, ni vizuri kusema kwamba ile hatari kubwa zaidi ya ugatuzi ni bunge la kitaifa. Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, kila wakati, na nakumbuka mwaka wa 2018 magatuzi yalipata shilingi bilioni 314. Mwaka wa 2019 wabunge wa bunge la kitaifa walipiga kura ili kupunguza hiyo pesa kwenda mpaka bilioni 310. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii nyumba ndio ilikaa kidete na ikasukuma hizo pesa mpaka bilioni 316.5. Mheshimiwa Spika, huu mwaka ambao tuko nao wa 2025-26 bunge la kitaifa lilipiga kura ili kupeana magatuzi bilioni 405. Ni hili bunge la seneti ambalo lilisukuma hiyo pesa ikaenda mpaka bilioni 415 na tukaongezea bilioni 10. Mheshimiwa Spika, huu mwaka ambao unakuja wa 2026-27 ni hii bunge tena inang'ang'ana kugeuza na kuongeza pesa ambayo bunge la kitaifa limepigia kura ili kupeleka bilioni 420. Na nashukuru kwa sababu tumeng'ang'ana na leo hii tumeongeza bilioni 8 katika kamati ya uwiano, na zile fedha ambazo zinaenda kwa magatuzi zimeongezeka kwa bilioni 13. Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru kwa sababu wale waliotunga hii katiba waliweka hili bunge la seneti ili kupambana na ugatuzi. Manake katika katiba mpya ugatuzi ndio kitu cha maana zaidi tulijipatia katika ile katiba. Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima tuendelee kuongeza pesa ya kwenda mashinani. Na sababu ya kwanza ambayo tunaongeza pesa, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni sababu ya mfumuko wa bei, kwa kizungu inflation. Mheshimiwa Spika, mfumuko wa bei unapoongezeka, wafanyikazi wa serikali za county pia wanahitajika kuongezewa pesa ili pesa yao iweze kununua vitu zaidi. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, saa hizi counties zinatakikana kulipa wale wahudumu wa afya wa nyanjani ama CHPs. Mheshimiwa Spika, na pia kuna swala la kuajiri wale wahudumu wa afya wanaitwa UHC staff. Haijulikani kama hawa wahudumu wataajiriwa na bunge la kitaifa, na serikali ya kitaifa ama na serikali ya county. Na kama Mheshimiwa Spika wataajiriwa na serikali ya county, basi ni vyema pesa iongezwe katika county, ili county zinapofanya uamuzi wa kuajiri wale wahudumu wa UHC, basi waajiriwe ikiwa inajulikana kwamba ile pesa haitawahi kupungua, kwa sababu wakiajiriwa kutumia conditional grant, Mheshimiwa Spika, ile basi ile grant inaweza kuondoka. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hivyo ningependa kusema kwamba ni kinaya wakati wa bunge la kitaifa wanapokataa pesa izende kwa magatuzi, na ikienda kwa magatuzi wale wananchi ambao wanawahudumia wakitumia fedha za serikali ya kitaifa ndio wenyewe wanapata huduma za afya, huduma za barabara, huduma za kilimo, ambazo huduma hizi zote Mheshimiwa Spika zimegatuliwa na zinataka fedha. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kusema kwamba katika magatuzi wale wajumbe wanaofanya kazi katika magatuzi ambao ni MCAs wajizatiti na kuhakikisha kwamba wamefanya uangalizi ambao ni sawa ama oversight, ili ile pesa inayoenda kwa magatuzi iweze kutumika kwa kupeana huduma kwa magatuzi. Mheshimiwa Spika, bunge la kitaifa ama wabunge wa bunge la kitaifa wanasema hakuna haja ya kupeleka pesa nyingi katika magatuzi.
Senator Wakole.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii kuhusiana na ugavi wa fedha katika kaunti za hapa nchini Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, maseneta wenzangu wameangazia kwa kina changamoto ambazo wamepitia ili fedha hizi ziweze kuwafikia Wakenya. Tumekuwa katika hali ngumu na magavana ambao hawakupenda kuwajibika, kujibu maswali na kueleza Wakenya jinsi wanavyotumia fedha. Mheshimiwa Spika, tunapozungumza na siku chache kutoka leo, tutakuwa tunafunga ukurasa wa makadirio ya fedha za serikali mwaka 2025-2026. Lakini tunapofanya hivyo, wanakandarasi katika nchi ya Kenya ambao wamepewa zabuni na magavana wanalia na hawajui waende wapi. Mheshimiwa Spika, wanakandarasi hawa wamejenga barabara, wamejenga mabweni, wamejenga madarasa Mheshimiwa Spika, wamejenga zahanati Mheshimiwa Spika, wameosha maofisi za magavana, lakini magavana wamekosa kufuata sheria na kulipa madeni ya watendakazi wa kaunti ya Bungoma na Kenya nzima. Vyuo vya chekechea Mheshimiwa Spika, tumekuwa tunaona katika runinga, wao heri wanunue unga wapikie watoto ubwabwa, wapewe maji, wapewe maziwa, lakini walimu wa vyuo vya chekechea na vyuo anuwai Mheshimiwa Spika, fedha hazipo kuwalipa ili waonekane kama walimu wenye tajriba. Ubwabwa Mheshimiwa Spika ni uji, ndugu zangu. Mheshimiwa Spika, tulisoma shule zilizofunza lugha. Mheshimiwa Spika, hawa magavana afadhali wapeane kandarasi ambazo kwazo watapata asilimia fulani ya hongo, lakini wasifunze watoto wa Kenya kuwa na uwezo wa kuchipuka na kusoma kama wengine. Vyuo anuwai Mheshimiwa Spika ni mahame, watoto wamehama, madarasa ni kutu Mheshimiwa Spika, na hili ni jambo la kuogofya.
Senator Okoli, would you wish to be informed by the senator from Mombasa?
Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu anatoka Mombasa, tutazungumza kule nje, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa, lugha hukua, kwa kimombo language grows. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, yale ninalosema na yale nataka kusisitiza kwamba walidai hatuna uwezo wa kuamua fedha zitakazoenda kwa magatuzi. Leo tumeamua. Walidai hatuna uwezo wa kuwasukuma wawajibike. Sasa wanawajibika. Walidai kwamba hatuna uwezo wa kuhakikisha kwamba tunahakikisha kule mashinani zile hoja wanazoleta katika vitabu tunavyobukua, Mheshimiwa Spika. Sasa tunaenda nyanjani na kuthibitisha. Ni kuhakikishia Wakenya kwamba jumba la Senate hatutalala, hatutasinzia, hatutaweka nta kwenye masikio yetu na kujidai kana kwamba hatuoni. Jumba la Senate tutafanya kazi kwa mujibu wa katiba. Nikimalizia, watu wangu wa Bungoma wananitazama kwa makini sana. Na vile vile gavana wangu ananisikiza vizuri sana. Fedha ambazo tunaleta si za mchezo. Gavana, huko katika kipindi cha lala salama, lazima ufanye kazi. Lazima ujenge barabara na ziwe nzuri. Lazima madawa yekwe kwenye hospitali, madawa ya kutibu, si ya kupunguza makali ya ugonjwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, almaarufu brufen, Mheshimiwa Spika. Yale tunasema, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwamba maji yachimbwe, watu wanywe maji maange, maji masafi, ili tusije kupata magonjwa ya kipindupindu. Mheshimiwa Spika, kile tunasema, tunataka fedha zionekane katika sekta ya michezo, sio katika idara ya michezo, watu kupata mishahara, milungula, kukula raha na kufurahia fedha za ushuru za Wakenya, halmashauri, kujivinjari na kurusha roho. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima watu wa Bungoma wajue miradi yote aliyozindua Mheshimiwa Governor katika awamu yake amalize na ondoke. Hatutakubali kupeana kandarasi, upate hongo na uache watu wa Bungoma miradi kabla haijakamilika. Mimi naunga serikali ya William Ruto ni sawa, lakini wewe gavana wa Bungoma, muunge rais mkono, lakini ufanye kazi na uende salama. Sasa hakuna kucheza ni
Senator Dulo. Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me join my colleagues in actually thanking them for having pushed the budget to where it is, the 428 billion. Mr. Speaker, we have come from far, and I want to be very fast because the 5 minutes might not be enough. I remember sometimes back, we used to have fight between ourselves, the governors and the National Assembly, when budget allocation is discussed. But I think this time round, we seem to be doing a bit well. Mr. Speaker, there is a lot of money that is left at the national level. And I think with these current challenges we have globally, the government should have increased the allocation to the county governments. In as much as we know what is allocated to county governments are not properly utilized, Mr. Speaker, but we need to see the challenges that are going on in the county governments, and our people are really suffering. Mr. Speaker, water, health, agriculture, and livestock is a devolved function, but a lot of money, Mr. Speaker, is still held at the national level. If you look at our health facilities across the board, Mr. Speaker, they are all in a devastating position, Mr. Speaker. People are not getting, as senators have said, service delivery. People are not getting drugs. Our mothers are dying in hospitals in giving birth. Mr. Speaker, youths are not getting employment, Mr. Speaker. Youths are not getting even the budget allocated to them by the national government for empowerment purposes. And this is as a result of corruption, Mr. Speaker. Development projects, Mr. Speaker. You visit some of the counties, the governors are not doing development. And you will see them actually running around
buying rating from those who are actually rating the functions, or rather the rating of the counties. Mr. Speaker, there are so many ghost projects, both national and county government. For example, I have a dispensary that was done 2015 by Equalization Fund. I have even stood in this house, Mr. Speaker, pleaded with the Minister for Health to see how he can intervene. A dispensary, if I show you a photo of that particular dispensary, you will even cry tears, Mr. Speaker. County is doing nothing. The ministry is doing nothing. Mr. Speaker, we are having a lot of challenges. I know our devolution committee summoned the Speaker of the County Assembly of Isiolo the other day. The kind of letter written by that Speaker and his people, Mr. Speaker, you will be shocked, where he says that I'm not actually supposed to be accountable to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Yet we are struggling here. We have sleepless night to make sure that counties get allocation. And somebody sits somewhere comfortable, chewing taxpayers' money, he will talk to you very rudely. And I thank the devolution committee because they have told him to withdraw and apologize and appear before the committee, which is really very good. Mr. Speaker, staff are not getting salary, Mr. Speaker. You will see counties running to the banks, actually taking loans. Mr. Speaker, those loans and also penalties are being paid by taxpayers, Mr. Speaker. Honestly. Mr. Speaker, we are doing very badly. Staff establishment. You can imagine Isiolo County, after impeachment, they have recruited over 1,000 staff members. Letters are dished out left, right, and center for political expediency, Mr. Speaker. And oversight institutions like Assembly and ESCC and others are doing nothing. At this Lala Salama time, recruitment is happening on a daily basis in Isiolo County, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure, roads, nothing is happening. Our mothers are still carrying jerrycans on their backs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, those are the challenges Kenyans are really facing. And I think we have to be very serious and hold the governors accountable, because when we hold them accountable, we are even being told, oh, we are fighting the governors. We are not fighting. That is why we are in this house.
Senator Chiranke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From the onset, I don't think I will give flowers to our committee members because they failed us. Mr. Speaker, when we passed the 415 billion last year, we were assured in this year we'll get 450 billion. And our colleagues were in this house. I don't know what transpired between here and the National Assembly, yet it is a very short distance. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. Even the 10-point agenda, I don't know whether it's expired or active. And our NADCO report, we agreed that counties must get 450 billion Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. In as much as, Mr. Speaker, I have had the National Assembly telling us, Mr. Speaker, you know it is because of corruption that we should not give counties money. What are they doing in their work of oversight of the national government? What is it they are lecturing us? Are they the monitors and prefects of us? We will not allow the biggest threat of corruption, of devolution in this country's National Assembly. Mr. Speaker. The second threat is the CS of National Treasury, CS Mbadi, for violating Article 219, because in many audit questions there has been late disbursement to counties. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, is the governors. The small demigods of our counties are the ones that are biggest threat to devolution in this country, Mr. Speaker. And I can see the SG, who is Mpato of ODM, is excited. I want to call upon him to summon for disciplinary action the chairperson of budget, who is a member of ODM, and the CS of Treasury, who is a member of ODM, for disciplinary action for undermining the principles of ODM, which is devolution, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, we need also to be told why is it that I had the chair of Finance and Budget saying they were begging. Begging who? This is money that belongs to the people, Mr. Speaker. I am disappointed with the Chair of Finance and Budget, my brother, Senator Robert, for saying they were begging. Beggars are only found in streets of Nairobi and other streets, Mr. Speaker. They are not supposed to be senators. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of clawback clauses, Mr. Speaker, it is not, Mr. Speaker, I don't find it absolutely necessary why we cut money going to counties, yet come and do KIPes, do markets, do CHBs, Mr. Speaker, do issues of shared in terms of agriculture and road maintenance levy fund, Mr. Speaker. Why don't we give this money to counties to do those markets, to do the KIPes, Mr. Speaker? Even community health promoters, Mr. Speaker. Why is it 2,500 Kenya shillings are you giving? The national gives 2,500 to community health promoters. The others give 2,500 to community. It is even below the minimum wage, which is 18,000 Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. In short, we are presiding over an illegality, violation of Article 41, violation of Labor Relations Act, because the minimum wage in this country is 18,000. It is not 5,000. So why don't we transfer that money to counties, Mr. Speaker, in the wisdom or lack of wisdom by the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker? Even on the issue of public debt, that we are talking about 13 trillion, there is nowhere that the counties or as a Senate has been called upon to co-guarantee on the issue of public debts, which is 13 trillion Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. We must be told, and I think as a counties, they must play a role and ensure, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, on the pending bills, it is approaching more than 183 billion. We don't know why is pending bills there, yet there is disbursement from the National Treasury, Mr. Speaker. And this comes to the point of accountability, EACC. Mr. Speaker, EACC in this country should change their name to Laundry Services. Because as a committee, we have recommended issues of corruption from Isiolo to Nandi, to Garissa, to Tana River, to Migori, Mr. Speaker. Even to Kericho, Mr. Speaker, where somebody ate money belonging to the dead. Those dead are doing press-ups and they will speak in 2027, Mr. Speaker. So the point I'm trying to make, EACC must be called to order, Mr. Speaker. Either they shut their business and do laundry services, or they do their job by arresting. Mr. Speaker, you saw 65 million being found. Who has even, these senators are so poor. If you come to my house, you will find only 20,000 shillings that is meant for grocery, Mr. Speaker. But an ordinary member, 65 million Kenya shillings is found in his house, Mr. Speaker. Which country is this? We must bring and ensure that the EACC do their job. Mr. Speaker, I reject this report.
Senator Haji.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll try to be very brief. I would not like to repeat what senators have already stood here and have spoken about, because we do realize that the mediation team, in my opinion, has actually done a good job. Having read the report and seen the minutes that have taken place during the negotiations, I have to commend the team, because in the first meeting, the National Assembly had proposed 423 billion. And the Senate stood their ground and requested for 445 billion. In the third meeting, when they met, National Assembly had increased their offer to 425 billion, while the Senate still stuck at 443 billion. In the fourth meeting, National Assembly increased their offer to 425 billion. The Senate came down to 440 billion. In their fifth meeting, the National Assembly came with the offer of 428 billion. But I don't think in the fifth meeting is when they had agreed, because the Senate had proposed 430 billion. In the sixth meeting is when they came to an agreement. And in the seventh meeting, they came to an agreement, and the Senate agreed to take the 428 billion. And I commend them for that, because they stood their ground. They put the request of the Senate, and whatever is being said by the National Assembly about corruption in the county government is something that we are aware of. But we also know that the corruption problem is all over the country. It is not only with the county government. Our role as the Senate is to fight for equitable share, And I think the mediation team went and did exactly that. And that's why I support this bill. And the fact that they agreed for Senate to take 428 billion, it is a matter of give and take. And every year, when we have these discussions with the National Assembly, the Senate seems to be, like one of the senators had already mentioned, that Senate always seems to be giving in to the National Assembly. But I think it is because, as senators, we do realize that the problems faced in our economy, it is a problem that is faced with all of us. It is not only the responsibility of the National Assembly or the executive. And that's why I commend the committee for understanding that there is a shortfall in the revenue collections, that we are facing a global economic decline going forward. And it is only fair that once we understand these problems, that we agree, because there's always next year, if things improve, if the economy improves, we are going to be able to get more funding for the county governments. But I think we have actually gotten more from what we got last year, which is commendable. When the mover stands up to reply, I will just want them to clarify on a few issues that they had also raised in the meeting when they were discussing with the National Assembly. The issue of the proposed reallocation of finances for devolved functions, such as health, agriculture, and water, is a discussion that we've been having every financial year with the National Assembly. I would like to know what is the stand of the National Assembly and why do they seem to be an impediment in this direction? Because it is what is in the Constitution, it is the right of the counties. The second thing I wanted to find out was the county government's conditional additional allocation grants, that these grants are always and often not dispersed in full or delayed. What is the reason why, and why can county governments get the full disbursement? I hope this was something which was addressed by the National Assembly, and maybe it's something the Senate has to take it up with the Treasury and the Executive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do support.
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, we have to reflect on the vote we want to take today. With all due respect, we now have to do things differently. I sit in the Finance Committee. We agreed on 454 billion, where the team of the Senate, led by the chair of the Committee of Finance, found the figure of 428. Not the mover of the motion, neither has the chair tried to convince us. They have not told us what happened. How did you end up at 428? If it is the spirit of give and take, we would have expected that the National Assembly having proposed 420 and the Senate having proposed 454, a differential of 34 billion, you should have taken and given halfway 17 up from the National Assembly figure, 17 down from the Senate, so that we should be approving 434 billion. Mr. Speaker, in the absence of this, if we support this figure, we'll be becoming part of a process that is not parliamentary. Did the co-chair of this committee come back to the Senate to tell us that he's having problems so that he convinces us for us to allow him to accept 428? He did not, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if in your reply, the mover of the motion, you do not convince us, let us reject this figure completely so that we create a crisis in the country for this Senate to be taken seriously, for devolution to be taken seriously. Mr. Speaker, members of the National Assembly who sat in that committee, they all come from counties and constituencies where we have constructed county agricultural aggregated industrial parks. How do they expect those projects to be completed, especially the one of Likuyani in Kakamega, which the first time the government went there, and the second time the government went back. First time was when the president was launching, we accompanied him. Second time was when they were coming to collect the equipment. Nothing has happened, Mr. Speaker. And the governor of Kakamega is comfortable saying, we are building archives in Kakamega. Same to the CHPs. We have refused. And even as we blame governors because some of you want to remove governors, let us also focus on the national government. The president in this bill is going to preside over 2.4 trillion shillings. And the only evidence of that money we shall see when we see helicopters, one by assistance of the president, another one carrying MPs, another one carrying the Speaker of the National Assembly, another chopper carrying the Speaker of the Senate. They are going to go and participate in fundraising, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have to refuse. The 2.4 billion shillings should not be used so as to further political agenda. It should be used for doing development. Just last weekend, Mr. Speaker, they came from my home in Luanda constituency. Came with 3 choppers. To hire one chopper from Nairobi to and fro is 1 million shillings. 3 times 1 is 3 million. And when they left the border boys with the 2.4 million shillings only. This kind of nonsense. Do it elsewhere. Don't do it in the peaceful region of the Mlembe nation. We are there, we are saying no. We want proper accountability for the utilization of public funds. Mr. Speaker, I must end by apologizing to you that I have mentioned your name in the people who use choppers for this particular money. Mr. Speaker, it is because of what I see. My home in Marinya is in the pathway from Nairobi to Malaba. So when I saw the chopper going to Oldeti, and I looked in the chopper and I saw the head of the speaker there, and he was going, I said, I must say it in the Senate. Otherwise, I would not have slept today. We want to be respected.
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
The chair has been calm. Please don't rattle the chair. Proceed.
I thank you for indulging me. And because the children of Kenya are watching, and they will be the senators of this house from next year going forward, we want them to know that in Parliament, it is the highest seat in the land where there is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech in this house. If you cannot speak in this house, don't bore people and disturb them speaking in funerals. Say it from the floor.
Senator Osotsi, what's your clarification? Senator for Nairobi City County.
No, Speaker, as a member of this House, I am aware that the seat of the Speaker has many members. I don't know how we can clarify which member of the Speaker's panel Khalwale saw in the chopper from his house. Because, you know, Speaker, the current seat is somebody we will respect. I suspect it is somebody like Senator Abdul Haji who was in that chopper. So I don't know how we can get that clarity.
Honorable, yes, what's your clarification again?
Mr. Speaker, I'm also struggling to understand how a bespectacled old man, though a doctor, Mr. Speaker, can see inside a chopper that is flying. I am struggling to understand, Mr. Speaker. Unless it was witchcraft that Senator Boni used, I cannot understand, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Senator Haji, what's your clarification?
Chair, I actually agree with Senator Cheriot because, you know, we have young people here. You're going to force them to look at the skies every time to see if they can identify the individuals in the chopper and maybe break their necks. So this is very misleading. And also, Chair, I would like to politely ask Senator Sifuna to withdraw my name. I am not the only speaker or in the speaker's panel who uses choppers. In fact, I rarely use choppers. I prefer to drive. So could you please withdraw my name from the Hansard and apologize to me, Mr. Speaker?
Now, honorable senators, we have some serious business to transact here. I will allow also clarification, Senator Ali Roba. Then we conclude on this particular issue.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, I rise because the honorable members and Senior Khalwale is a member of my committee. And Honorable Speaker, he was a member of the mediating committee immediately last financial year. And he mediated to a logical conclusion. He stood here to mislead the Senate that the mediating committee ought to come back to the Senate to be guided on the figure to accept. If that is the case, it should have been the plenary discussing mediation. Honorable Speaker, a senior member and a seriously respected person who has been in 3 consecutive mediations and mediated and defended the same, to be able to say, we've erred in mediating and coming back with a figure, I as the chair, speak to my majority leader. Next year, God willing, 2 people must be volunteered to be members of the mediating committee, Khalwale and Senator Cherargei, so that they can come back with the wisdom they have, the wisdom that was missing the first 3 years he was a member of that mediating committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Haji, I believe what the Senator for Nairobi City County said was purely on a light note. Is that not the case, Senator for Nairobi City County? You may proceed, Senator Osotsi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I want to join the colleagues who have indicated that they are going to vote against this motion. I want to join that list of members who are very categorical that this mediation report does not really demonstrate why we are here. Mr. Speaker, we are in this Senate to do 2 things. To push for more resources to our counties and also to make sure that those resources are used well within our counties. But this particular report does not promote that principle. So for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I will reject this motion. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, you know very well that we spent several nights trying to beat the deadline of 31st March in compliance to Article 229 of the Constitution, that the audit report must be processed within 3 months after publication by the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, whereas the Senate has complied with that provision, the National Assembly is telling us that they can violate the law, they can go against court orders, and they can still use the audited report for the last 3 years, which basically means that this figure that comes out of that computation is unconstitutional, Mr. Speaker. So the whole Division of Revenue Bill, even this mediation report, Mr. Speaker, if we have to strictly comply with Article 229 of the Constitution as ordered by the court, then it implies that this report is unconstitutional, Mr. Speaker. For that reason, Mr. Speaker, I will be opposing this report. And Mr. Speaker, also, I am disappointed by members of my own party. In fact, the key people in this process are from the ODM party. The CS for Treasury, John Badi,
was a former chairperson of ODM. The chairman of the budget committee is a member of the ODM party. These people have let us down, Mr. Speaker, because we know very well the 10 points agenda which our late party leader signed with the president provided for 450 billion. But they have sat comfortably in their seats and decided that we can only get 428 billion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for that reason, I will be opposing this bill. Mr. Speaker, I wonder why the national government entered into an agreement with the Nairobi County, one out of the 47 counties, that they will give Nairobi 80 billion, and they are having problems giving us 454 billion. Nairobi alone is supposed to get 80 billion, an agreement between the national government and Nairobi County. Why exercise, why be selective like that when we have 47 counties that all we are asking for is 454 billion? Mr. Speaker, for that reason, I'll be rejecting this bill. Mr. Speaker, when the national government says they don't have money, and you see them, and I want to agree with Senator Halwale, when you see them over the weekend in choppers, in big vehicles moving from one constituency to another in the name of empowering communities, and all they are doing is just distributing money. Mr. Speaker, one of the members here said that our CHPs have not been paid. I was surprised. On Sunday, 3 choppers landed in Vihiga County, and they were meeting CHPs, and they only gave the CHP 1 million shillings with 3 choppers, and made statements and left. These CHPs have not been paid for 3 months, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this tells you how our government is misallocating resources and focusing on things that don't add value to the
Senator Osotsi, your time is up. Senator Mwenda Gataya.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kutoa taarifa yangu kwamba kamati ya uwiano ambao ilienda ikang'ania pesa ya ugatuzi imefanya kazi mzuri. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, tumekuwa na kamba ya mvutano kwa muda mrefu zaidi. Ni kama bunge la taifa ambalo tumekuwa nalo kwa muda mrefu zaidi alijui kwamba pesa ya ugatuzi ni haki ya kikatiba. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia hata kamati yetu wanapokaa chini na bunge la kitaifa ni kama kwamba kuna uhasama wa kisiasa kati ya bunge la kitaifa na majimbo yetu ya ugatuzi. Kwa sababu kila wakati Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia mwaka rudi mwaka nenda tumekuwa na upinzani mkubwa sana, kwa sababu kila wakati Seneti kiasema kwamba tunataka pesa hii, unapata kwamba tuna upingamizi kubwa sana katika bunge la kitaifa. Na vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, unaona kwamba ni kama kwamba bunge la kitaifa halijui kama kwamba pesa ya majimbo yetu ya kaunti ni haki ya kikatiba. Na ndio sababu naona Mheshimiwa Spika, vile tumeketi hapa mwaka rudi mwaka nenda tumekuwa na vita kubwa sana juu ya ugatuzi wa pesa za kwenda katika magavana wetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuunga mkono, lakini vile vile tumeona kwamba kuna matatizo mengi sana katika kaunti zetu. Tuko na matatizo ya mandeni, tuko na matatizo ya huduma zingine zile zote, huduma za umma, za huduma ya afya, tuko na huduma za kilimo na huduma nyingine zile za maji. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunapopeleka hizi pesa zetu katika magatuzi zetu ya nyumbani, ya kaunti zetu, ni vizuri Mheshimiwa Spika, wale ambao wanawajibika na hii mambo ya kuhakikisha kwamba pesa imetuka vizuri, itumika kwa njia ya haki, na wananchi wetu wapate nafasi ya kupata huduma inavyotokana. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono.
Thank you, Senator Gataya. Now, honorable senators, there is no other member who is keen on contributing to this motion. I will therefore proceed to call upon the mover to reply. Senator Tabitha, are you the one replying to the motion? Proceed to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate all senators who have taken their time to contribute to this motion. And despite the ones who have agreed, the ones who have opposed, we still appreciate, as a mediation committee, for them taking their time and to air the different concerns, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we've been keen and listened to the issues that members have been able to raise, the concerns that have been raised by members, majorly being the concern on the issue of the audited reports that most senators have spoken about, as to why the last audited and approved reports currently are for financial year 2022-2023 is a very big concern, Mr. Speaker, which we agree, and we urged the members of the National Assembly to ensure that they push to bring the audited reports that have been approved to the current financial year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issues in regards to developments for our counties, case examples, the issues of CAIPs, among many others, have been raised as to why these contracts are signed, Senate is not involved, and governors are out here crying that they have, issues with the funding of these particular projects, which are left at minimal percentage, hence affecting the use of these particular infrastructures, Mr. Speaker. There's no value for money, Mr. Speaker. It's been a big concern. The issues of CHPs, Mr. Speaker, has also been raised, whereby members have raised the concerns as to why these monies cannot just be paid fully directly, probably by Treasury, directly from the national government, and like being allocated to the counties. But the reality is that the agreement is a 50-50 shared agreement that the counties have to be able to adhere to their percentage, their commitment, as well as the national government, Mr. Speaker. And so the monies that we had proposed from the beginning and to where we've been able to settle at 428, these funds are going to take care of the issues that we were able to raise, the issues of remuneration as per the SRC, the SRC circulars that have been pending for the last almost 2 years that the counties have not really been able to adhere to as far as recurrent expenditure is concerned because of the shortfall of funds, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members have also talked matters to do with the pending bills, which are 100%, Mr. Speaker. I do agree with them fully. We have had issues as far as pending bills is concerned. Mr. Speaker, with the addition of 13 billion, the governors in the different 47 counties should prioritize the issue of the pending bills, Mr. Speaker, so that now we bring the issue and the animal of pending bill that we've always spoken about for the longest to a close, Mr. Speaker. We also want to urge the governors to be able to appear in all the Senate committees, to be able to to help us undertake our oversight role, for them to appear and be accountable, Mr. Speaker. As we continue giving them more funds, we need also them to be accountable. And when they are invited before the committees of Senate, the governors should be able to adhere and respect the House that ensures that they continue getting more funds to be able to do development and offer quality services to their people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also before I forget, as far as the issue of audited reports is concerned, I want to request the clerk of the Senate to ensure that all 67 senators, through their offices, are able to receive the reports of the Auditor General so that each senator is able to familiarize themselves with at what point are we as far as the audited reports are concerned and all these figures that we keep talking about.
Senator, Majority Leader and your team, you are not giving the requisite environment to Senator Tabitha to reply. Take your seat, Leader of Majority. Senator Sotsi, take your seat. Please conclude, Senator Tabitha.
Yes, as I actually conclude, Mr. Speaker, a few questions have been raised by one of our senators, Senator Haji. I was very keen, as I'm always very keen, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of the county car grants delays, why they are not fully disbursed, Mr. Speaker. We have realized as a committee, I would concentrate on my feedback. We've realized as a committee that some of the county governments are not adhering to the MOUs that have been put in place because it is one of the conditions, hence delay. And you find that some of these funds that have been allocated to these particular counties, they have not been able to conditionally, adhere to the projects the way they have been agreed to. And then these issues come about. At the same time, it is our passage of the bill. As far as the county additional allocation bill is concerned, you find that sometimes there is delay, hence delay of funds, Mr. Speaker. The issues of relocation of some of the funds that have already been devolved. Actually, our base of argument was that National Assembly Budget Committee should be able to deduct the 13 billion has actually come from the ministries, more specific the Ministry of Health, Mr. Speaker, because we lobbied them to be able to remove funds from the Ministry of Health because health is already devolved. Among, among other ministries where functions are also devolved, Mr. Speaker, and that's why we were able to achieve our argument of 13 billion Kenya shillings. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I would wish today we can be able to vote for DORA so that even National Assembly can be able to continue with the appropriation of the funds. At the same time, I would also wish today, Mr. Speaker, through you, we can be able to introduce CARA. Because as you saw, there's a, we are supposed to be going on recess on 19th, and would wish as a committee so that counties are able to continue functioning, that these two bills, we will have concluded with them as a house. But all said, kindly, I want to urge members, with the situation that is there worldwide as far as the economy is, the physical, the issues of the debt that we have as a country, I would wish and urge my good colleagues, kindly, let us pass this bill. We have tried, and we believe that in the next financial year, definitely we'll be moving to over 430 billion moving forward for the county governments. And we ensure we do our role oversight and the other government stakeholders, EACC and the likes, to be able to do what they're supposed to do. With those many and few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I reply and really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tabitha. Now, Honorable Senators, that was the mover replying. We will move to the division, but as a guide, Honorable Senators, we have got a number of divisions which we want to undertake from order number 8 to 13. Each will take less than 2 minutes. So, clerk, kindly ascertain whether we have quorum. Sergeant at Arms, ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes. Do 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms, continue ringing the bell for another 10 minutes. Ring the quorum bell for another 10 minutes.